So South Africa is quite unique, especially in Cape Town. When you're in the city, it looks like a very wealthy place. But then about 40 minutes outside the city, it's the complete opposite.
5% of the South African population, mainly whites, own 88% of wealth in the country. 60% of the health budget was spent on the white population. 40% of the country live in abject poverty. 12 million South Africans were without access to water. 21 million were without sanitation.
Townships start off with a formal settlement and then they just build little shacks. So you'll have families of around 4 to even up to 8 people living in one little shack. A lot of these people don't have access to the basics they need, like water. People do still electricity, but most people will live off the grid without electricity, water and sanitation as well. Therefore, they don't have toilets, they don't have any sanitation. That leaves open to airborne diseases, causing massive issues and sickness in the homes.
While larger townships received limited government support, often with only a handful of public toilets and water taps shared among hundreds of residents, smaller communities are left to fend for themselves even more. One example is the Rasta Camp in Ocean View, where locals have had to create their own systems to survive and sustain daily life.
We're looking at like around 400 people there. The government don't want to recognise that area because they have to provide services.
It's not so easy for us.
Fortunately, we were able to partner with a local organization that's deeply rooted in the community, one that steps in to provide crucial aid and support when government resources fall short or attention turns elsewhere.
Every program, when we start them, we sit down with the community and we want them to be involved completely. We look for community members, leaders that are super passionate, they want to make a difference, but we want to make sure that the programs are sustainable. So we look at a long-term sustainability plan.
In partnership with Action Change, we aim to tackle the 3 primary issues townships face on a daily basis. The first of these challenges being sanitation.
We're leveling out the concrete slab so we can put the toilets.
Because they don't have access to water, you can't have running toilets. The advantage of composting toilets is they're much safer for them to use. They're not in the home, but they are in the community. There's a box that you take out, it's treated. In 12 months' time, you'll be able to use it as compost. To make them fully sustainable, they can now use that compost on their farms as well.
For me, that staying here, it will be much better. So thank you for you guys that's helping us out.
Working with community members to improve sanitation at the Rasta Camp in Ocean View opened our eyes to both the struggles and the beauty of life in the township surrounding Cape Town, but our work was far from over. The next issue Action Change focuses on is employability. So we traveled to the township of Philippi to meet 2 inspiring community members who, with no formal education and just $12 to their name, began selling food on the streets simply to survive.
You don't even have a formal education, you know. He didn't even pass your grade 12 education. So what do you do now? He's taking care of his mom. I have my own family. I have a wife. And that time I was expecting my second child. So boom, unemployed. It was very hard.
The other key issue to helping people fight poverty and tackling all the global goals is through employability. And that's something really important to work with in the communities. Making sure people have access to training, to qualifications. They're dropped out of school early, getting them back into education. About 1 in 3 people drop out of education before the age of 12. When they've got older, struggling to find work.
More than the issue that people are not employed, the biggest issue is that we have people that are not employable. Most it could be because of education, or maybe it could be because of criminal record. We hired those guys intentionally.
Years later, their hard work has paid off. They've opened their own restaurant, creating jobs and a safe space for the youth in their community.
We don't have off grade 12. We would never get hired anywhere. So we intentionally wanted to hire those guys that are like us, that, hey man, you're not going to get a job opportunity anywhere, so come join our team, come hustle with us. We've seen that this is not just giving these guys like food on the table, but we've created a brotherhood. And I think that's one of the key things that is lacking as well. Coming from the township, we don't have mentors. A younger man doesn't have a role model.
So we've set up a skills training centre. The course we're doing at the moment is sewing. We take anyone, they can never have stitched a thing in their life, and over the 8 weeks they will learn to make a variety of different products which they'll be able to sell locally within the community as well as to tourists. Once they graduate, our team then support through mentorship and development to help them price stuff up so they know what they can sell.
My favorite part of being a teacher here is helping people in terms of skills so that they can establish their own businesses.
The time I started this course, I was knowing nothing, and I can see my life is changing now because of this course.
Someone who was just staying now has become someone who can stand on her own or his own because they are making projects which they can sell.
I want to open my own boutique. Thank you very much, my teacher James, and all of you. Today I'm holding my certificate because of you guys.
When you're teaching, you are helping someone, making a change. You know, that's why we are saying action change.
When it comes to how poverty impacts family structures, firstly, the time that parents spend with their kids because they're at work. I remember the time we were like really hustling. I would go out at home, my kids are sleeping, and I'll come back, they're already asleep. At some point, I had to miss a couple of years. I'm actually aware of that, but there are families that are not even aware of that.
Our next stop brought us to Siyakhula Daycare, a place that was born out of tragedy.
There was an incident that happened here in Masiphumelele. A 3-year-old little girl was playing at the park, and it happened that she was alone there with no care.
Years ago, a young girl was kidnapped because she was too young for school and her parents were working. From that moment on, the community decided that no child should ever be left without a safe place again, and Siyakhula Daycare was created.
In South Africa, you have your free schools and then you have your fee-paying schools.
With so many children and so little schools, a lot of the government schools have gone to half-day classes, either a morning session or an afternoon session. So they're not getting a full education. One teacher will be teaching around 100 children. Having very high class numbers to teachers makes it a big struggle.
There's a lot of families who really want to be able to send their children to a fee-paying school, but they cannot afford it. We offer the quality of education that you would get at the fee-paying or the private schools in South Africa, but at a much more affordable rate.
We focus on around 20-25 children max to one teacher, and every teacher also has a volunteer teaching assistant as well. So the ratio of teachers to children is much better to improve the quality of education.
After talking with the staff about what they needed most, they showed us this abandoned room and told us how much they dreamed of turning it into a new classroom for the kids.
Recently, the water spigots were stolen. They all came back with it and the whole area was flooded.
You could immediately walk in and the smell was bad, and it was just a pretty old classroom with water damage from the break-in.
So we got to work. We cleaned, painted, and stripped this place down to a fresh slate. The next day, with just one day to make it happen, our team went all in, transforming the space from bare walls to a warm, vibrant classroom. But before we could call it finished, we had one final touch, and it was only right we brought in the kids to help us.
Emma got to take initiative and help paint the tree and getting the kids involved in that.
And using their hands as the handprints, as the spirit of the tree, and it really showing it coming alive was something that was super special.
Siyakhula means we are growing. When Action Change came to support Siyakhula, that is whereby we saw the light, and we even had the hope that Siyakhula can grow.
The fact that the Murph Foundation and Action Change were able to collaborate together and work as one unit, not just that, but be accepted and to be a part of their community, was such an enjoyable experience.
Being part of a wonderful team of volunteers made the experience even better.
The second you walk in the door here, you feel the magic of this place. This school is truly a beacon of hope, lighting the way to a brighter future for not only the children, but everyone who calls this place home.
It was beautiful to see that despite circumstance, these community leaders each found a way to turn surviving into sustainable solutions. It's one thing to donate to a cause, but another to empower the community itself. An ideology TMF will be adopting in the future. So as always, make sure to donate to the Murph Foundation so we can keep doing good in this world.
Do